It's Make It Monday again. We're 5 to 7 year olds. We're doing weather. Still staying with STEM. And what is weather? Well, weather is what happens outside, right? And the thing is, you need tools to determine that. Like your weatherman on the TV, he uses all these different tools to help him predict, because it's not an exact science. It doesn't say if they're gonna snow, it's gonna snow. It doesn't work like that, right? So we do predictions. And the tools that a weather person uses now is more digital. So that means that things like satellites help them predict the weather, or Dopplers, more things like that. This is a map of the different satellites that rotate around the earth to help the meteorologists predict, determine, and kind of foresee what might be coming or changing in our world. But we are going to use more simplistic tools. This is called a barometer. That measures your air pressure. A thermometer measures temperature. An anemometer measures wind speed. And the wind vane, that's what tells you what direction the wind is coming. And the weather vane, or wind vane, the first wind vane was actually invented by a Greek astronomer in 48 BC. So the weather vane has been around for a very long time. When it was really popular, a lot of them look like this, and they're on top of your house or on top of your barn. But today, we don't really have them that much because we have satellites and they're all digital, and it just sends it right through the air. Okay, so let's get right to our craft. So in your kit, you will have a plate, a straw, a Dixie cup, some clay, your trapezoid and your triangle, a pin, so the end of it's very sharp, so please be careful, a pencil, and then of course your instructions and a fun weather predicting sheet of your own. So if you like telling the weather, you can use this sheet to help you. Okay, so you will also need glue, scissors, a ruler or something straight, and a marker. Okay, let's just get started. So first you're gonna need your plate, and you're gonna wanna flip it over, and you're gonna draw your compass. And on the back, we've got an example of a compass for you. You can write north, or you can just write in, and then directly below that is south. So south, or S, and then west and east. Okay, so when you lay it down, they kind of tend to say north is in front of you, south is behind you, west is to the left, east is to the right. So if you wanted to be a personal compass, you could always turn yourself that way. Okay, but that's how we're gonna do our plate. So we're gonna put our ruler in the middle. And a marker. And I'm going to go ahead and write an N at the top and an S at the bottom. And then I'm going to draw a line from one to the other. Then I want to find the middle of my plate the other way. So horizontally, then vertically. And I want to put a W for west, and then an E for east, and draw a line. On our compass on the back, if you notice, sometimes the wind doesn't always exactly point to north, south, east, or west. Sometimes it's northwest, northeast, southeast, or southwest. And typically, being in Illinois, the wind right now in winter usually comes from the northwest, northwest. So, okay, so there is my compass. I'm just going to make a few little marks that go right through the middle. Okay. And then I'm just going to put northwest, or NW, and then NE, southeast. Okay. All right. Then you're going to take your cup, and whatever is easiest. You could even take your pencil and trace it. Try to get it in the middle as much as you can. If it's not exact, that's okay. All right, so I kind of drew a circle. I'm gonna glue just inside of that. Put a nice hefty amount because you want your cup to stay. Okay? Push that around to make sure all my edges of my cup is in the glue. And then I'm going to set it aside and let it dry for a little bit. Okay, next you're going to get your scissors and your straw, and you want to cut just like a 1/2 inch in to your straw. I'm gonna flip it that way because I want them to make sure that they're the same direction. So you don't want to cut one way and then cut a different way on the end. So make sure when you're holding your straw that both the cuts are on the top. That makes sense? Okay. So then you can grab your triangle and put it in one end. And then your trapezoid. There we go. On the other. And since some days are really windy here in Illinois, I would suggest taping over the straw ends to the paper, so that a way when the wind blows, it won't blow your pieces right out of your straw. So you can glue those, tape those. You just want to make sure those guys stay the way they are too. Okay, next step is when your cup and your plate are hopefully dry, you're gonna take your pencil and you wanna poke the sharp end of it into your cup. And I kind of twist as I go. And then you wanna push it all the way to the, almost to the bottom. It doesn't have to go to the bottom. Okay. All right, and then next thing you want to do is get your molding clay out, and it's kind of stiff. So you want to make sure you warm it up or play with it a little bit. That's what makes it fun, right? Once it gets nice and warmed up and easy to move, you're going to stick it around your pencil. This just gives your pencil more stability. I'm going to make a snake and then stick them out. You guys know how to make snakes, right? Like this. All right. Make a snake so it goes all the way around. I'm going to squish it so it stays up nice and straight. Then, with the ruler, let's look how long is my straw. My straw is 7.5 inches. So we want to find the middle. So we know 3.5 is half of 7. So then we're going to go 7.25. So right here is the center of my straw. And I gotta get my pen. And you want to stick your pen, watch your fingers. All the way through. And then I'm going to stick the pen into the eraser. I have not taped my ends yet, as you can tell. We want it to be as level as possible, so that way it won't go wobbly when our wind blows it. Okay, so the most important thing is if you want your arrow to be able to spin. I don't have, Miss Nicole doesn't have enough wind power. There we go. If your weather vane does that, you know it's ready to go. Then the fun part is to take it outside. And first, when you take it outside, you have to make sure you turn. So Miss Nicole has a compass on her phone. And on my compass, it says that north is to the fire hydrant or fire extinguisher. So I need to turn my in, because you always point in to where north is, and then everything else is right. So that way when the wind blows, from turning it, it's blowing west today. All right, I hope you guys have fun with the weather experiments. Stay tuned for some books that will help you learn more about weather. And here's a few books that we have at the library that talks about weather. This one is called Wonderful Weather. This, to me, is one of my favorites that we have here because it does a really great job of giving you weather vocabularies and telling you what weather is. But then it gives you fun experiments, kind of like what we did today. Let me get to one of these. Like this one is you make clouds. So this is a great book for ages 5 to 7. These are all nonfiction books too, so you know that what you're learning is correct. Okay, this is about wind. This is just about wind. So if you like the wind vane and want to learn more about an anemometer, which is wind speed, this book will give you more information. Or just forecasting, talking about how they predict the weather and what tools they use today.